do you? How do? Beautiful lords and ladies of the nerddom. This is the Nerd Chambers Live, episode 9. Manny Roman, with me as always, the man with the gold box right away.
You know, man, I was super excited for this episode, and it's just sad.
I was too.
It's a sad day, but there's only two of us on the screen right now.
Yeah.
It's okay. He will be back next week, of course, as you guys can already tell from Facebook Live, and it's not with us this week. He had some other stuff going on. Man, I guess all the cases don't like us there.
Apparently.
But it's gonna be a good show. It'll be fun. We'll talk about a lot of big stuff for movies this week, and a couple big things that we weren't surprising. Sorry, they were pretty surprising for video games this week as well. But yeah, I'll let Manny start with what he's been up to once the microphone decides to close me out.
Hey man, I've unplugged it and it was still acting goofy, so I don't know what's going on. Anyways, fair amount. Actually, I'll give myself a little credit. I didn't only play Albion Online this week. I was really proud of myself. Although I did play a lot of Albion Online. I'll get to that in a second. But first, me and my boy here play some Rocket League.
You know, and it actually went pretty well. I'm not upset with our qualifiers this time. This was probably the first time in 3 seasons that I was content. We went, what, 5-5?
5-5.
Yeah.
Better than the 2-8 we went in season 10.
Yeah, we were 2-8 the season before that. I went 1-9 with I played with someone else.
Yeah, that was your
yeah. So, you know, at least we ended pretty much right where we left off, which I can't be upset about that. I mean, I'm a game on a diamond probably, and you're right in diamond.
Yep.
So it's definitely nice either way. And you know, I'm sure we'll keep grinding out a little bit better since we're starting a little bit higher than we normally do.
Yeah, that was kind of my thing. Looking at it afterwards, it was like, yeah, we only got to where we finished last year, but we got to where we finished last year, where we normally don't. So I feel like this is the season we make this. Maybe make the jump to D2, man.
It would be nice.
Because
I would be extremely happy with mid.
Because that seems to be our trajectory. Is we go up a solid 3-4 divs every season. It's just we haven't been starting where we left off the last couple seasons.
Yeah, so it would be nice to kind of get back into form, get it going, because we do have a solid, I'd say, 2-month stretch that we just play so well. And once we hit that stretch, we'll probably, kind of climb up in a D2 and then maybe fall in the like high D1, low D2, which still would be great because we'll kind of pick back up and keep going from there. But yeah, no, it'll be fun. I'm glad we got to play a little bit this week.
Good.
Of course, as you started to mention.
Oh man, welcome to Game of Thrones, the Albion edition, dude. This last week was wild in Albion. So, for those of you that follow the game, or well, I guess for those of you that don't follow the game, every month or so, there's territories that open up for guilds to fight over in the game. And Saturday was that reset day, and our guild partook for the very first time in guild versus guild battles, and it was insane. It was insane to say the least. So there was a solid like 20 of us in the group together, which is always awesome. That's probably the most people we've had grouped up at one time. So that was really cool. However, the other guilds and alliances that were fighting over the territories that we were hoping to fight for had groups of like 70-ish people.
Oh my goodness.
And what's wacky is when you see a large grouping of people on the map, on your mini map, it'll show them as like a red circle. And the red circles that were fighting over a town in the game took up like half of your mini map. That's how many people were there, and it was terrifying. But we decided. I ran around without any of my equipment on. I just took my horse and I started roaming around, just scouting, because they were all fighting up before the time to claim the areas. And so I was just sitting there scouting around. There was the big town plot, and then there's one small farm plot on the zone we were in, and all the fighting was going on in the town plot. There was really nothing going on in the farm plot, so we kind of decided like, let's just go for that, because it's not just get annihilated in 5 seconds by gigantic lions. And so time keeps ticking, and it gets to like 5 minutes before, it was 1 o'clock is when they went live our time. And there was a group of an alliance-less guild that had been sitting on the farm plot, and they got ambushed by an alliance. And they started fighting, and the alliance guild, or the alliance people obviously started killing the alliance-less people, but they had strayed from the farm plot. And so our 20-ish people like started filing in, like in small groups, so nobody noticed we were in a bigger group, and we ended up sneaking and stealing that farm plot from an alliance. And we actually ended up, after we claimed it and everything, you know, there was two of the biggest alliances in the game that like scheduled to attack that plot, and we're like, well, as fun as it was, we're gonna lose it in a day. But our guild leader was the alliance leader of the people that won the town of that area decided to talk to our guild leader about, you know, working out a way for us to get that plot defended. And when all was said and done, we actually got to join their alliance. So we went from being a guild of like 120 people to being an alliance of 1,200 people.
Oh, wow.
So, like, we do not own the farm plot anymore. But it's under alliance control, so we have access to it. We have access to the town now because they've been able to defend it as well. So, and at the end of it all, we don't, as a guild, own a plot, but we have access to the entire zone we wanted to have access to. So it was overall a win. But yeah, wacky week. Very wacky week.
That's good. And then, of course, you know, I know you're playing your main game right now. My game has been City Heroes, and I was so happy when we just got to sit there and talk about it. We're playing Rocket League, just like, yeah, man, I've been grinding out City Heroes, been getting this super group together. I'm like, it warms my heart. Yeah, no, it's really cool, and you know, just like how you've been, you know, in the guild now, and you kind of like helping recruit, you know, I guess be a little bit more of a leader of the group now. It's been a lot of fun because I've been doing a lot of recruiting now on Facebook pages, Discords, all this kind of stuff, and like, it's just nice having this like little like group now where it's like get on every night. Where it's like, hey, like everyone let's get on and play. So it's something nice to have that, and you know, just making the connections with them, hanging out with everybody. So you know, it's definitely been a lot of fun over there, and yeah, hopefully it'll keep growing. We did a couple of task force this week. I will say one did not go very well. This was last night. The two randos that weren't in our super group actually left about 3/4 of the way through it, and we're like, well, you need 8 people to do this. We have 6 now, so we're kind of screwed. We tried it anyway. We almost beat like the first boss and the last 2 in the end, and man, it's really sad. But it was a lot of fun. All of us leveled a bunch, and we just had a great time hanging out and stuff. Other than City Heroes, played some Rocket League with you, of course. Again, it went so well for what we were.
We had our synergy was better than times when we were playing for weeks straight. It was really weird.
Some of your passes were so on point that I was, you know what, I'm going to freestyle, I'm going to trust myself, because these passes are beautiful. I'm 100% with it. And other than that, of course, Adam and I played a lot of League this week. I'm inching my way. I'm almost to my Silver 1 promos right now, and hopefully I'll start making my way to gold. It's been going pretty well. Just played Ez this week. A lot of Ez. 2 games of Triss, but probably about 15, 20 games of Ez. And his new skin is maybe the coolest skin in any video game I've ever played. It's a mixture of Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, and My Hero Academia. Like, he makes all these quips and stuff like, I'm gonna be late to class, and you know, someone gave me their power and I need to use it for good. I'm like, oh my god, this is Deku. And I just love it so freaking much. And it did so well with the skin. It looks cool. Once you use your ult, you go like Super Saiyan, your hair is glowing and your fists are glowing. It's so freaking sweet. So I've been loving Ez, and it's been going well. I've been playing a lot of Yumi in the bot lane, and then a lot of Lux. Ez Lux has been such a great combo for us right now. And it's been a lot of fun.
He's gonna want to be playing some more Yumi once we talk about these
yeah,
testing changes that are in testing.
Yeah, no, definitely nice. But that's it for games for me this week. Those three. I started a new Netflix show though. This show is so freaking good. I I always keep saying it's Sanctuary, but it's The Society, the new Netflix show. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's definitely for everyone, that, like, the kind of like that young adult audience. It's about this group of high schoolers who are going on a senior vacation, and they all take the bus and stuff, and then the buses turn around and they come back home, but no one else is there. I'm gonna just kind of leave it at that because them figuring it out is kind of the whole show, and it's really cool because it's them running their own society, and it's so cool watching these 18-year-olds, 17, 20-year-olds, rationing and making government, and it's really cool show. I would definitely check it out if you need something to watch on Netflix.
If you like that show, one show you should consider watching is The 100.
That's literally what Adam was telling me. He's like, it's a lot like The 100,
Mm-hmm.
but a little bit more, high school party kind of thing. But yeah, no, I definitely should check that out too right after this because it's similar concept.
Yeah, because one of my friends got me into the show, and I've been really liking it. The fifth season is going on right now. It's really cool. It's really cool. Season 7 of Arrow finished.
Haven't watched it yet, and I'm so nervous.
The season 7 finale was a trip. We'll see. It hurt me though. It was emotional. They made it to be a little bit of an emotional ending of the season, and I was like, it hit me, and then I'm like, there's only 10 more episodes left next season, and it's over.
Yeah,
that's gonna make me sad. I have to finish Riverdale too. There's 1 or 2 episodes left of Riverdale I have to watch. Show-wise, I think that's it. Yeah. Oh well, yeah. Game of Thrones ending. But since these guys don't watch, I don't feel the need to talk about it too much because everybody knows that watches the show how we feel about it. Terrible. But yeah, I think that's everything for my itinerary.
All right.
Yeah, as always, once we finish what we've been talking about, we jump into the
Top 5 gaming news stories of the week. 1.
Feels bad that we were leading off with this story because the other person that would want to talk about this isn't here. But we're going to talk a little bit about the next Fallout update, 9.5 of Wild Appalachia. There's a couple things that couple big things being added in this next update. The first being they sort of added a couple new features to player vending machines. The inspect option can now be used to view additional details about items in the other players' vending machines, making it easier to find that perfect legendary for your collection. So you'll be able to kind of get more in-depth specs for the items that are available for you to purchase from other players. The bigger thing, though, is the Project Paradise event. This is coming straight from Bethesda/Fallout website. The patch notes for it says, "Sink your teeth into some experimental testing by joining the Project Paradise event, which takes place in carnivorous biome labs that are now available for exploration beneath Arctis Pharma. To start Project Paradise, head to the Arctis Pharma building in the forest region of Appalachia. Enter the building's lobby and then use the elevator to descend into the labs. Product research has never been so wild. Aid Arctis Pharma with their experiments on the Appalachian creatures that inhabit the labs, and you'll be rewarded with new loot and XP. All 3 biome labs will require your attention if you'd like to claim the best reward, so most adventurers will find it beneficial to form a group. Note, this event will be daunting for dwellers who are fresh from the vault, as you will encounter enemies who are level 50 plus. So it sounds like like a strike in Destiny.
Yeah, definitely.
Like it has that kind of feel to it where it's like a baby raid,
which is nice. I'm glad they're kind of pushing more towards this direction for the game, because I think they need a lot more team building stuff, which is really cool. I mean, it's a really nice concept of the game, and I mean, for what I've seen, watched for some YouTubers and even talked to you guys really enjoyed the more team-based things in the game so far. So it's nice to see them keep adding stuff like this.
I think it was a really good idea. I think it promotes interactivity in servers, which is something very much needed in the game, and I think player vending is another thing that has helped that a good bit. Wanted to get to try the event, but Adam insisted on us getting brunch this morning.
Which I mean, like,
so then
sad,
couldn't try the game, but now he's not even here either. Double mad at him.
Right.
Triple mad at him.
We miss you, Adam. At least Manny does for his Fallout talk. It's alright.
Miss him, but I hate him.
I get that.
Yeah.
2.
Our second story. This was brought to our attention by our good friend over there, Brandon.
Yeah.
With the announcement of the Google Stadia, Microsoft and PlayStation decided it was in their best interest to work on a little bit of a partnership for cloud gaming and content streaming services. It says here, according to The Verge, Microsoft and Sony unveiled a surprising partnership last week that will see the companies collaborate to develop future cloud solutions for game and content streaming services. While both companies have spent more than 15 years battling it out over PlayStation and Xbox sales, Sony is now looking to Microsoft's vast cloud experience to help power its existing and future streaming services, and Microsoft is teaming with a rival to fend off larger gaming threats.
Which honestly, I gotta say, shout out to my dad for sending me this story, because he's the one that saw this story. He sent it to me because he looks through the comicbook.com website all the time for his, upcoming books and just movies, and he sent this to me. I'm like, is it? And I started looking through more stuff on the internet. I'm like, okay, wow, this was on like some bigger websites, and then on Microsoft too. It's I like that we're finally seeing them do something together. Sure, this isn't like a dual console kind of thing, which that's the mega nerd dream, I would think. But it's something. It's the right direction. I'm glad we're seeing this. The communities kind of come together, because again, like how we've said so many times, that Sony is like so just against anything with Microsoft, but it's nice to see this, because this is definitely good for the community.
Yeah, I think it's such an interesting pairing, because like you said, PlayStation has been so closed off from doing things with other companies, with the whole like, you can't have crossplay with your Fortnite account and all that, and it's kind of a mess, to now partnering with Microsoft, because the root of this partnership is they're afraid the Google Stadia is gonna work because of the way the Google Stadia is set up, the platform is set up. It's such a great idea, and it looks and is implemented so well, that I think they're genuinely worried that it's going to hurt them next console generation.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, a smart move by PlayStation to work with the company that is infinitely more knowledgeable about cloud, based services in general in Microsoft, to try to help future-proof their brand. And good for Microsoft, because they need a way to, boost their brand in any sense right now, because of how far behind they are, just in general, because of this console generation.
Exactly. And just real quick, what's up, Sean? I'll probably re-download COD to come play with you, because I haven't done. I'll come play some COD at some point if you want.
Yeah.
But he just commented, bring those watches locked over and play some COD with me. I'm like,
hey, by the way, GameStop is hosting a 2v2 SND tournament.
Oh, damn. Adam, if you're listening.
Get at it, boys.
But, and just jump back to this real quick. See, the thing that I really appreciate, though, from both sides, mainly Sony on it, is that they accepted, like, hey, this is what we aren't that great at when it comes to, the cloud service. And they reached out, and they're okay accepting that they need some sort of help with it. And that was the thing that was worrying me about the next console generation, was but they're going to get stubborn, they're going to close themselves off, and then they're not going to make as good as a system or a platform or a streaming service as they could because they didn't want any help from anybody. But I think this is just going to infinitely help them when it comes to the streaming services, which is a great move.
Yeah, and this is in line with what they said last year when they said they want to focus the next couple of years on their services and things like that. I think they realize that PlayStation Now isn't working. It isn't something that a lot of people want because of the price tag on it. It has nothing to do with the library because the library is insane.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, I got
PS2 to PS4
yeah.
games, anything you can think of you can play on your PS4. It's just a matter of paying $20 a month, which is just nuts to me. So I think they realized that wasn't working right, and I think this partnership is going to help them figure out a better PlayStation Now type of service for the next generation. And for all we know, it could be like, hey, let's make this cloud gaming system together, and let's make it fully cross-play and playable on both systems, which would be a really cool idea.
3.
Our third story of the week. A rumor that, once again, Brandon, all over it this week. You made my job super easy this week.
I got you.
Rumor has it. Well, it's been rumored for 2 or 3 years. There's a new Fable game in the works. But, rumor has it from an industry insider that it's going to be teased at E3 next month. Oh my.
I'm really sad because I didn't get into the Fable games until the third one, which is the only one I touched.
What?
It. I know.
How can you be excited then? You've had the worst experience in the franchise.
My thing was I watched the first and second lot,
Okay.
and that's one of the games that kind of got me to playthroughs a little bit more. And the third one I played, I'm like, this is so much fun, this is awesome. And then it's funny because everyone else tells me, it's like, if you thought that was fun, like, if you played 1 and 2, like, you're going to freak out because they're so much better. And it's just knowing that I'm going to have something like that again. Again, the nostalgia of old games when they finally get made is fantastic. Borderlands, Safe Heroes coming back. I just love it. I want more games like that to start coming out. And this is something, as I was telling you guys earlier, if this doesn't get announced for PC, I'm going to have to get an Xbox for Fable and the new Halo. Like, those 2 games would be enough for me to buy an Xbox. That's easy.
And you getting Xbox would be enough for me to actually keep up with my Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Live.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure they expired like a couple days ago.
No, exactly. And it would be a smart move for, hopefully, if Microsoft is pushing them to kind of get this game out. Because this is a big franchise game that kind of just fell off out of nowhere. Like, people kind of expected more games to come out, and they just never did. Because there hasn't been one for the new, like, moved over to next gen, right? Well, current gen now.
Fable, you mean?
Yeah. Like,
So I think they're all backwards compatible.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, but none of them were like remastered for.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
But play Fable 2.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. Play Fable 2. It is one of the most fun games I've ever played.
Yeah.
That is not an exaggeration. It might be in my Mount Rushmore of games. It might. I think it would be The Last of Us, Elder Scrolls Oblivion, probably Fable 2, and then Halo 3. I think that'd be my Mount Rushmore. I think. I would maybe throw a God of War or Detroit in there.
Okay.
Maybe.
That's understandable. But yeah, no, and that's why I'm so excited about this, because now I get to experience it on a level of, I love the third one, even though apparently it wasn't that good. Now getting a new one, I'm like, it might even be, the next gen systems when this comes out. It could be a Xbox whatever release. So that'd be insane.
Yeah, and
That would be huge.
so to Brandon's point, the second half of the rumor that was put out there, it's apparently only going to be teased at E3 next month, and then they're planning on actually showing off the game next year, but the game will not be ready until at the earliest 2021 is what this industry insider claims. You can check out the whole press release for it on comicbook.com. if you want to know more. But wild. I'm glad to see the franchise back because it's such a good franchise. Fantastic.
4.
Our fourth story of the week has to do with the game. We've been keeping tabs on
We're much closer than I would expect for a game like this.
Yes, but I like it because this game, like the studios did a fantastic job with the last game. Man of Medan received a new release trailer yesterday. Actually, it was released by PlayStation Europe, and it got a release date. August 30th, you will get a chance to finally pick up and play Man of Medan. Sorry, the Dark Picture Anthologies, Man of Medan. August 30th. The release trailer, it didn't show off too much. It just kind of showed the premise of you're going to be making choices throughout the entire game that, branch off into different scenarios, all that. But man, that game looks really good. I'm really stoked for it.
Yeah, honestly, man, Until Dawn was the first horror game that I was like, damn, this is well done. This is actually a great story. Because all the horror games I've played, I'm just like, like there's a jump scare or two. I'm like, okay, it got me a little bit, but the stories suck. They honestly do. But the Until Dawn story, not only were you able to play it in so many different ways and all the different endings, it was just the scares were pretty good too. I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't as jump scary as some other games out there, but there was a couple that got you. But all in all, it was just a creepy premise.
Yeah, and the plot twist halfway through Until Dawn is one of the best plot twists in a game.
Oh man,
fantastic! I loved it.
It's so good, and that's why I'm so excited to see what they can do with Medan as well. Because the thing that I'm so curious about is it's on a boat. Like,
yes,
their hands are, in my eyes, so tied to what they're able to do because it's all in one little boat. But maybe we'll see, hallucination kind of things that they're in different areas and stuff.
Yeah, because in the release trailer, like they show you going into like ballrooms and like tons of different rooms. So
exactly.
I know we talked about it a while back when it like first got announced. It has to do with like a haunted like shipwreck in the bottom of the ocean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm sure that's gonna play into all the different rooms you're gonna be dealing with and stuff like that. Going back to Until Dawn, though, I think the biggest thing we have to note is helped the rise of one fantastic man in Rami Malek.
I know, and that's a weird thing. Like he got such a big hit from that game. He went from being in
that
game to I Am Robot.
Mr. Robot, I think is what it's called.
So those two just exploded his career.
Blew up. Deserved it.
Freddie Mercury,
man's great,
fantastic, and he is so good, and it excites me to know that some actors that want to do that kind of stuff. There's also Hayden Panettiere, who's like in Harvey Weinstein. It's cool to see decently known actors come into video games and want to do work, and we're starting to see that a little bit more with Ghost Recon that we just saw last week, and it's so nice to get to see more and more people start to reach out and make video games.
Yeah, and there's just to kind of add on to the list of like notable actors that are doing gaming stuff. Do you remember Walter from Arrow?
Yes.
He is in a new VR game that's coming out next week called Blood and Truth.
Really?
Yes, he's going to be like one of the like not main characters, but like one of the like supporting characters in the game.
Sure.
Looks super cool, by the way. Might have to dust up my VR for that game because that game looks great. It looks like it's, hey, here's an action movie that you're playing in VR. And I can get behind that. I can really get behind that. I feel like I had something else I was gonna add in there, but I could be lying to myself. Let's just keep it rolling, man. Let's keep it rolling.
5.
Our last story of the week, courtesy of our friends at Pro Guides again. Honestly, in Pro Guides we trust with League stuff. Honestly. So, new video that they released talks about the changes that are in the test server for League of Legends for 9.11, and there is some spicy stuff going on. So, first one we're going to get to is some big changes to Wukong.
And then before we jump into that, I just want to say thank you to everyone that's come by today. you get a chance, like us on Facebook, Instagram, at the Nerd Chambers. Nice and easy for you anywhere you want to look. But again, thank you for stopping by. If you have any questions, any concerns, anything you want to add to the show, leave it in the comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Give me a second to get some water in me. I appreciate that.
I got you.
All right, so the Wukong changes for potential changes that are in the works for 9.11. Some changes to his passive ability. The way it'll work is if his clones or Wukong himself damage an enemy, it adds a crushing blow stack that stacks up to 5 times, and it does 4% damage per stack. So if you are if your clone hits somebody once and then you hit them each like twice, you're doing an extra 16 to 20% damage on hit, just for hitting him, which is crazy. I think it's a really, really nice add to his kit. His Q passive, when he casts any spell, his next auto range is increased by 125, and he gets his bonus damage from his Q is converted to AP instead of normal attack damage, and he will now heal off the auto attack. So again, very, very nice change. His clones are now able to attack enemies instead of just stand there and look stupid,
which is nice. And it even comes down to me. I see it as laning phase. You can throw out a clone and be like, hey, my clone will get the CS, I'm gonna go hit, or I can get CS, my clone will go chase him off a little bit. It's really nice. This is one of those characters I always felt his kit was just so bland, because there just wasn't a lot to it. You just drop a clone, you had your dash to an enemy,
and dive him,
and that was really it that I felt was in his kit. And it's something I study a little bit more, especially the passive. The passive really is making him interesting as a character. So it's good to see that they're doing this with Wukong. I personally play. As soon as this comes out, I'm going to try him. I wasn't a huge fan of him. I think this could really turn him around for me. So it's nice to kind of see what he does. Some of the videos I've been seeing, though, Red Mercy, I think Prograde touched on it, that we might see people start running a little less lethality with him and go even a little EP, because some of his stuff has a little bit of EP bonus now, too. So,
yes.
nice.
Yes, to wrap up his changes. So when the clone attacks an enemy, he does it for half of the normal damage of an auto for Wukong. His damage is getting nerfed on his spin to win thingy, which is nice because that spin to win hurts.
Yeah.
But they're buffing the range to compensate for that. And the last thing was with his ultimate. Before, you were not able to use any other ability while his ult was active. They changed that. You will now be able to use other spells when using his ult. Interesting indeed.
That's going to be really strong, I think.
I really like the changes to him, though. Overall, I think this makes him a very, very interesting 1v1 champ.
See, and that's the problem with him, is because his ult, all you do is keep knocking him up in the air, which is nice, it's great CC, but it doesn't do a whole lot of damage, unless, you're just completely built. And, now knowing that you can attack, you can do some more damage while it's going on, you can actually 1v1 now, and that's the huge problem with Wukong. He gets annihilated by any sort of 1v1 assassin jungler. So now he's just got a chance out there, which is very, very neat.
Yeah, I think his passive sort of I guess his passive paired with his Q. I don't know why it took me so long to think of the word pair. Is actually a really nice combo. Gives him very good damage. Very interesting. It seems like they're trying to focus a lot of junglers towards being able to 1v1 a lot better.
Yeah, exactly. With Matt Yi and now Wukong, I'm sure we'll start to see a little bit more with other characters. I feel like Silas they do a little bit better. And it's smart. It's really good.
Yeah, I think it'll add an interesting dynamic to the game, because with the change to Scuttle Crab spawning later, it almost seems like they're like, yo, we want you guys to brawl over this Rift Scuttle right now.
Which is nice. And that's the thing, especially that, because now, counter jungling is a little more important up until that 3:15 mark, because now you have nothing to do really, because I clear all my camps by 3 minutes. I have 15 seconds just to kind of sit around and wait for Scuttle. Sure, I can back, but I don't have enough gold to buy anything immediate, so I might as well try to fight someone out now, which it's much needed in the jungle meta right now, so it's good.
So next champion getting a potential change that's on the test server, Diana. A lot of people are mad about it, apparently.
Yeah.
A lot of people are not happy about it.
It's some bad changes.
So
my poor buddy Matt. He's been playing a lot of Diana mid, because Akali's kind of right now.
Yeah.
So he turned Diana, and this is rough. Correct.
Yeah. So her base attack speed is being increased by 0.1 autos per second, I guess is kind of the ratio they go with. So it's being increased from 0.62 to 0.72. Her mana is getting decreased by 40 to start the game, but it's going to scale better by level. Her passive, the AP ratio is being lowered, but she's going to be granted 20% move speed. But the bonus attack speed and the AP that gets converted to mana after the passive proc is no longer there.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be like, hey, you do a little more damage and you move faster.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. Like you would just blow people up with this now, but with this being gone, I mean, I don't know. I think that's really gonna hurt her real bad in the, at least in the early game, because her late game damage will be fine. You know, trying to blow someone up at level 3 now, I don't know if that's gonna happen.
I don't either.
Yeah, it's gonna be really, really rough now.
I don't. It seems like she's gonna be a very, very mid to late game champ, if she can make it that far, because none of these feel like they're benefiting her in any way. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Never mind. Her E is getting a cooldown reduction.
Oh, hey, man. Yeah.
Big ups to them on that one. Yeah, and if you guys do end up watching the Pro Guides potential changes video for this all the stuff we're talking about, they are projecting her to be a D tier mid laner, which I think there's 2.
Yeah.
On their tier list that are D tier, so that just shows how big the changes are going to be for her.
Yeah, 'cause I'm pretty sure she was S tier like a patch or 2 ago. Then she went down to like A tier. That's still really solid. Now she's dropping to D. That's going to be unplayable, honestly, at that point.
Next champion, very, very little to talk about. One change with them, but Janna, they're changing up her W. They're nerfing her damage in mid to late game. And they're increasing the mana cost over time on it, but the cooldown is being reduced. The W is just her little, it's called Zephyr. It's just a little thing that just you target somebody and it just does damage to them. So very, very minuscule changes with that. Teemo is finally getting changes.
Talked about this like 4 times in the show because they kept bringing it up, but apparently for what I've seen is that they are finally pushing this through, and I hope so.
Because
he needs it.
Yeah, and it seems like I like that they went back to the drawing board with these because they seem fair now. Yeah. It doesn't seem like he's going to be overpowered or anything, or he's going to feel too weak. So to go over the changes, a lot of it seems like they're going to focus him to being more mage heavy, I guess you can kind of say. The base mana regen for Teemo and the scaling by level is being increased, but his base damage and his attack damage scaling are getting decreased. His passive auto attacks are going to do bonus damage and poison damage over time, and that damage will be increased by 50% when stacked with other poisons. His Q is getting changed, or not fully changed, but the changes to his Q. His damage is getting nerfed and the mana cost is getting increased, and the AP ratio of damage is getting nerfed, but it will now count as a poison debuff, which if you got his passive, if you hit him with the Q, which is just an on target, it automatically hits. If you hit him with his Q, it counts as a poison debuff towards his passive proc. So his auto attacks will do the poison damage and then the 50% extra when you hit him with his Q.
Yeah, which is a nice addition to the character, and I feel like it kind of takes away just relying on hitting them with the big, the blind or anything that you're going to do, poke damage now. So I mean, all in all, I kind of, part of me wants to agree with you that I could see him maybe moving into mid lane a little bit more than just top, because he does seem a little bit more like a...
Because he can kind of be an early game bully now.
Yeah.
With that much stacking poison damage just based on autos, just by hitting a Q and autoing him a couple times, you're doing a lot of poison damage over time, plus the bonus magic damage in general. So I think he's going to be really, really scary early. His W, which is just his movement speed buff, I think is all it does. It no longer is going to break stealth when it's activated. His E, though, where he actually goes into stealth, it was they basically made like an entire page worth of text to it. Try to keep it as simple as possible. He'll go stealth still, like always. He'll be able to move now in stealth. They said it was anywhere from, I think it's 6.5 to 9 Teemo lengths away from where he started the stealth. And when he breaks stealth, he's going to get an auto attack or attack speed increase, and I believe it's a small movement speed buff. So overall, that's a really nice change. It makes him, to your point earlier, I think it was before the show, makes him more interesting for jungling or ganking in general.
Yeah, because he's kind of almost like an AP Teemo. Sorry, AP Twitch. I mean, he's like an AP Twitch for jungle. You know, he has the ability to stealth, but when he comes out of stealth, he gets the attack speed bonus, just like Twitch does. And I mean, all in all, if you can, it almost kind of reminds me of like a Shaco Twitch. Because with the shrooms, you can place them properly, the slow, the bonus damage. It's going to be nice to kind of see where he goes. That's the thing, though. He could be played anywhere. I think ADC is probably the only spot we won't see him go. We could see him support, though.
I don't know, man. That bonus auto damage is nuts.
Which is definitely good. Which, honestly, it wouldn't be out of the question, but that's like probably if you told me, like, pick one where he won't go.
Yeah.
It's probably ADC, because I could see him support now. You throw him with Twitch? Oh, my goodness.
Or you can do something like, either one of them in the jungle, one of them ADC.
Honestly, yeah.
Spicy.
Yeah, and that part wouldn't be too bad there. And then I think his mid lane potential wouldn't be terrible, and still his tops would be enough to bully now against a little bit more into round level 6 now. So
I think he'll be an interesting early game character now. Yeah. Really, really interesting. Like his kit revolves around his passive now, which is fine.
Yeah.
Like I don't mind that. I like it actually because it plays more to his strength. You know, people are just building Nashers and like other like AP attack speed items on him, and I feel like that passive really caters to that well. The last thing to Teemo's rework, his ultimate, the Shrooms of Doom. The damage and AP ratios are both getting nerfed, but he can stack now up to 5 Shrooms at max rank instead of just 3 at all ranks.
Yeah, which, I mean, it's nice. It's going to be kind of gross, though, late game for, like, holding Barons and Dragons now. Just
5 Shrooms.
I know. That's going to be...
It's crazy.
Definitely pretty nasty with what it'll be to do with it, because even now, like, you see 12 Shrooms sometimes, I feel, at a time, you know, in certain areas if he does them properly at the right time. Especially if he does some, like, cooldown reductions. It's going to be fun. It'll be kind of interesting to see where the character will go with that. But that's the nice thing, is it will be game breaking.
Mm-hmm.
2 more things at a time. Just, you know, a little more in the lane, a little more vision on the map, which will be nice.
Mm-hmm. So the last character I was going to talk, we planned on talking about with the potential changes. One character that is not included is Malphite. If you guys want to go read up on the Malphite changes, go watch the Pro Guides video. The last character though that we're going to talk about is Yuumi. I did not know that she had a 37, like in the 30s win rate.
Yeah.
Since being released.
34, then it went up to 36, and I think it's around in the 32, depending on.
Which is nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And with Yuumi, in my notes, I literally just put fat buff.
Yeah. Which honestly, she needs it. She is the epitome of if Kale was a support. She is garbage early game. When she hits about like 14 to 16 area, she really does start to take off, which is nice. It's just, man, her early game is so rough.
Well, and with supports are always the lowest XP champs on your team.
Yeah, and there's that, and the problem is so many supports right now are so good early that you just get dominated in the lane when you have a Yuumi down there too, and there's some fun stuff you can do with the character. Like, I've been loving Kaisa Yuumi because, you know, she hops on, I hit someone, I ult, I chase him down, and Yuumi comes with me. It's so nice, but other than that, there's not much of the character early. So
yeah, so the big changes for her passive, where she gains shield when attaching onto people, the shields being buffed at all levels. And the big change was her Q damage is getting a massive buff.
Yeah.
massive buff.
Because right now, I mean, it's just an annoying little slow. That's really what it is. But yeah, if you had some damage on that, that would be nice.
Yeah, so that's those. I think those were really the two main changes to her, but the the significance of the buff is, or the amount that the buff is, was why I just like, that's a fat buff.
Yeah, no, it's definitely really nice. I hope to see her, raise up a little bit in the percentages right now. Because again, 30, 35, that's ridiculous for a character. Because usually, they're kind of busted when you come out. But she's way too bad right now. So no, it'll definitely go.
Yeah, that's everything we have. That's gonna wrap up our top 5 gaming news stories of the week. Let us know what you guys think about the League of Legends changes. Let us know. Go check out the Madden trailer. Let us know what you guys think. Go check out there's like 3 trailers for the game. Check them all out. See what you guys think. If you guys liked Until Dawn, you will like this game. But as always, once we wrap up our gaming news, send it over to that cute boy across the table. Talk some movies. And a little diddly doodad that we like to call...
Report from the back row.
Skip.
Skiddly-doo. It's a sad skiddly-doo today. There's only 2 of us. Yeah.
To be fair, he never usually does it, but he did do it last week.
He did. Really good. The magic's gone, though.
It's alright. It's alright. So, of course, as we just alluded to, we talked about a lot of stuff today. Some League of Legends, some Fallout, Sony-Microsoft partnership, some rumors about Fable 4. Goodness. And then, of course, Meaty. We got some interesting stuff this week. It's maybe the last story that I'm really excited about and worried about.
You were terrified of.
Absolutely terrified. I was talking to, I was getting some tattoos done today, and I was talking to Taylor, my tattoo guy. And he was laughing about it when he saw it. We'll get into it shortly. We're going to start out, though, since you guys saw the movie, I know already, but John Wick 4 has a 2021 release date.
Nice.
We're already ready. They're going to get back into the, in all the work again for it, which is awesome. It's real quick. The turnaround for these movies is pretty solid. Probably about a 2-year window is what they're doing. I mean, that's nice for, not a huge, big budget Marvel, Star Wars kind of movie. So that's good, though. I mean, these movies are doing so well. And
this was the first John Wick movie I saw. I have not seen 1 and 2. I will fully admit to that. I normally am not the kind of just mindless action movie person. But man, John Wick 3 was insane. Insane. I really liked it. I'm stoked to see what they're going to do for the 4th. Well, I mean, you kind of know what they're going to do for the 4th movie, but stoked to see the action sequences of the 4th movie because they are insane.
No, yeah, which is definitely good, and it's nice to see a movie, again, that's not a huge budget, to get such a following, and for them to keep throwing these movies out. They said they're going to do as many as the fans want until they get sick of it. So, I mean, we might see 8 John Wick movies, 10 John Wick movies. Keanu Reeves is just fantastic. He's just a fantastic person. Mm-hmm. I'm glad that the stigma of him as being like a goofy actor is gone. He's just a badass.
that dude makes some sweet money for having to do like 10 minutes of acting.
Yeah.
In an hour and 40-minute movie.
Yeah.
Hour and 45-minute movie. It's,
which all in all,
honestly, yeah, he's living the dream. Because the amount of acting that he has to do, so minimal, it's very much a lot of stunt double work.
I don't know if it's stunt double, though, because he posted some videos of him actually doing scenes from John Wick 1. So, I don't know. Because I know he went to like a boot camp and all that kind of stuff to understand the scenes, so... I'm sure some scenes might be, depending on some of the scenes, would be stunt doubles, but a lot of the actual movement and, I guess more like fighting scenes is like a lot of stuff he likes to do, so I mean, I don't know, either way.
If he's actually doing all of that, good on you, brother, because that is insane.
Oh, yeah.
The stuff he did to another human being just with a book, insane.
But, we're going to kind of stay on the topic of John Wick. A lot of different video game movies are coming out. But Just Cause is getting a video game movie.
Why, though?
About it, but the John Wick director is going to be taking hold of this movie.
Which, match made in heaven.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's the right route.
Why, though? Why didn't you make that movie?
Was anyone asking for a Just Cause movie?
I don't think anybody was, because nobody's played the last two
I was
Just
gonna say,
Causes.
is anyone playing Just Cause anymore? Like,
I don't think so.
I saw this, and that blew me away. I mean, again, like, the games, you know, they do okay, but it's just such a weird game to get a movie. Like, that just, to me, that was out of nowhere. Like, if you're gonna that, give me like a real, like a full-on Far Cry in the movie.
Oh my god! If Far Cry was actually made into a movie,
Yeah.
that would be so great. And
Just like that instead.
give me Far Cry 2 or Far Cry 3 as a movie, because they're already basically movies. Make me so happy. Make me so happy.
I don't know. I did not love this news when I saw it. I really just threw it in there because the third story we're going to be going into is that I'm sad that Adam's not here today.
Yeah, like
Ugh.
why he do this?
There's so much stuff for him this week too, and but it's all right. But Mortal Kombat got an official release date. We talked about it last week that there was talks that this movie was going on. They were going to try to get some production going, and I guess the director is official. It's the guy. Oh man, I gotta check his name. The guy who does Fast and Furious 7.
J.J. Abrams. That would be nuts, dude. J.J. Abrams MK movie.
It is James Wan. So he
Oh.
does Fast 7. He does the Conjuring movies. So
I was gonna say, yeah, he's all over the place.
movies, yeah.
Yeah. Oh
So-
god, the Conjurings are fantastic.
Yeah, so I think this is a good, like, really, really good director.
He did Lights Out too. If you ever seen that movie,
I don't think I ever did that.
oh,
So, yeah.
Lights Out was really, really good.
And that's just my thing. Like, they definitely got a really good as a director to go with this film because they need it. Mortal Kombat needs a really good direction, and I think he'll be able to do it. So it's something nice. And again, it's just so sad he's not here, so we can talk about it a little bit more. But no, it's good that we're getting some more news, get some more traction for that movie. But the next thing we're going to jump into is something I knew that you'd probably be more excited about. But Sony is launching the PlayStation production to adapt their games into films and movies.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude.
Again, this is another Sony thing that shocked me. I wasn't expecting something like this. And
So like, can we finally get The Last of Us movie? Is that finally? Is that a thing?
yeah,
Because Neil Druckmann said he's been writing a script for it, but I don't see any news about it, Sony. God.
yeah, I would love to see something like that. I think we could see like a full-on Uncharted movie. I would love to see some like TV shows like Crash Bandicoot. That'd be, I think, a good. TV
Oh
show.
god, that would win the hearts of so many children.
Oh yeah.
I loved Crash as a kid. I went to Disney. I think we went to Universal. I thought I didn't, but now thinking back, I think we did go to Universal because somebody was there in a Crash suit. They had like one of the people, Crash Bandicoot, took a picture of him.
Really cool.
He kind of picked on me a little bit, but it was I Crash can do whatever he wants to me. Okay, we took a picture and I was wearing a hat, and he just does one of these. He just like muffs my hat down on my face and covers my face. I'm like, Crash, you trickster, you. Hilarious.
And that's just my thing, man. There are so many places they go with this. Give me a God of War movie.
Dude,
Give me a
Detroit game or like mini series
I
or
would
show
love-
or
yeah,
show or
show.
yeah, mini
Show-
series or movie. That's what I meant.
Yeah, but there's so many things like Infamous. That'd be a really cool movie. Or maybe a TV show.
Give
There's
me
so
an
much.
infamous show.
Yeah, there's so much they can do, and I'm glad to see that they know that, like, hey, we have a lot of different.
Great IPs and great storytelling in those IPs. Ratchet and Clank, if like
Yep.
they already did a movie for it, give me some Ratchet and Clank. Make it happen.
No, yeah, it's gonna be nice. This was a super smart move by them. I don't know how long it'll be until I actually kind of start getting into it, but you know, at least they're getting their feet wet. They're getting the ideas out there. But all in all, I think that was a super smart move. Now it's time to talk about a not so smart move for movies this week. The segues. Robert Pattinson is Batman, and
He's a bat.
oh man, when I saw that, like we saw the rumors and stuff about this, a lot of talk because there was like a short list going on.
I think it was. I think we talked about like he came out and said he wanted to do it, right?
Yeah, and I really didn't think it was gonna happen.
But it did.
And it did.
It did.
That being said, I have to give DC the benefit of the doubt. When Heath Ledger was announced as the Joker, myself and everyone was like, No. Here's my thing. Robert Pattinson is going to be an amazing Bruce Wayne.
He's a very good actor.
He is.
He is.
Very good
I think he suffers from dude Twilight hating.
Yeah, he is the Twilight.
Dudes hating Twilight, I should say.
My thing about it is, again, I think he'll be a great Bruce Wayne. He is he's a pretty boy. He's going to be able to pull off the millionaire, the billionaire, the, attract women thing that Bruce Wayne does. And I get it. I know he'll be great at that, but I don't think Robert Pattinson is going to be very intimidating. I want that back. I want Batman. Like, I want to see Batman be like, oh, damn.
Hey, man, if 50-year-old Ben Affleck can look intimidating, Robert Pattinson can hit the gym and be intimidating.
Fair. I don't even know if he's about to bulking up, because I know I'm sure he can bulk up. I'm sure he puts some muscle on. I just see him. I'm like, oh, he just seems like a nice dude. Like, I don't know. It's gonna be tough. So this is. I'm not gonna freak out yet. I'm gonna hold my breath. I'm gonna wait till I see at least a trailer to really get my true thoughts about it. But it just feels weird. It really does.
What? Dude, you like? What's so weird about a studio recasting a character after the character's in 1 or 2 movies and didn't even get his own movie? Like, come on. Nothing weird about that.
Yeah.
Nothing weird about them making him like 20 years younger either. It's totally normal.
See, I will say that's the one thing I do like that they're going as a younger Batman, because that's something we haven't really gotten yet. I don't know how much younger really, because Robert Pattinson's what, like 35?
I think he's in his early 30s, if I remember right.
No,
he's not a super old fella. Let's see. He is 33.
So, I mean...
He just turned 33. Happy birthday, dude.
No, I mean, I don't know. I think they can do this right. I'm just nervous. There's a lot of Batman fans out there are very nervous, because when you hear this, you're like, why is a vampire playing Batman? But I kind of get it.
Because they're the same thing.
Exactly.
Right?
But... I don't know, man. We'll just have to see. But that's going to wrap up our report from the back row this week. Of course, we talked about John Wick 2021 release date for John Wick 4. Just Cause is John Wick's director. Mortal Kombat getting the official release date of 2021. Sony launches PlayStation Productions to adapt games in the film. And Robert Pattinson is your Batman.
He's a bat.
Yeah. Let's turn back over to that wonderful man across the table, Manny, so we can wrap this up.
Yeah, I wanted to get into a game for E3 Hype this week, but it wouldn't be right being a man down. Wouldn't be right.
Next week.
Yeah, we'll have to do it next week. We'll talk. We'll.
To be fair, we kind of did a little bit. It wasn't like a whole segment, but Fable.
And that was gonna be the one I was gonna suggest for the segment. So we'll talk Fable next week.
Yeah.
We'll get into.
Especially because I think he is the biggest Fable fan. I don't want to leave him out.
No, I'll fight him. I'll fight him for Fable. Fable fandom. I'll take him down. No chance, bro. No chance. So that's everything we have for you guys this week. We appreciate everybody who stopped by the Facebook live stream. Anybody that listens to the podcast every week. Yadabomb.com. If you guys want to keep up with us outside of the show, like us here on Facebook if you haven't already. Follow us on Twitter. Go follow us on Twitch. Spotify. Keep up with the podcast. All that good stuff. Just go, honestly, sociallinks.co/thenerdchambers. It has all of the stuff for us that you need to know and keep up with.
That, of course, if you're on Facebook Live, you guys see the different things we have up on the side of us right now. You know, everything there. Just look up the Nerd Chambers. Just Google the Nerd Chambers. You will find us on any platform out there.
That is true. That's actually how some of the guild members from Albion found us. They're literally like, yeah, just Google. Your guys' Twitter popped up right away. I'm like, cool.
Perfect. So yeah, again, every view, every like, it really means a lot to us. This, someday we'd like to make this a career, and thanks to you guys that make it happen someday. So, really appreciate it.
Give me the chills. That's cute. Oh man, that's gonna be it for episode 9 of Nerd Chambers Live. Once again, thank you for everybody that stopped by today. Optimus, take us home.
Thank you for tuning in to the Nerd Chambers podcast. Be sure to come back next week for more of the news you need to know.